retro rock plays everything.
Hey, Rob here, and today we're going to talk about 2007's Jakks specific Pacman Gold plug-and-play. It is a device that I've been waiting a while to get. These aren't as common as some of the other plug-and-plays. You do see them. I mean, they're not like super rare or anything, but they are less common than the other ones, so it took me a little while to get hold of one of these, and here, of course, it is. Like most Jakks-specific devices, it has a fairly decent ball top, metal shaft for the joystick, and is made out of pretty decent plastic. I particularly like this little wrap around the edge right here. It has a different texture from the rest of it, and it looks really nice. Another thing I like about it is that it has this nice embossed Pacman on here and the little embossed ghosts. Now you'll notice that the button is actually invisible, which, you know, that is an extra feature. It also puts a hole through me. Green screen, darn it. Doesn't matter, I'll have a couple of pictures of it up in that corner right there, so you can take a look at it in its entirety and a little bit better detail than you're seeing right here in the video anyway. But it's a nice looking device. If you look on the front, there is a power switch that turns it on. There we go, and it lights up. And this light is the reset button. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on mine. This is kind of weird. The system, forgot also, it takes 4 AA batteries and uses 2 RCA jacks, obviously, because this thing's mono, not stereo. It's an 80s arcade game machine. Of course, it's mono. But anyway, games inside of it are Pacman, Galaxian, Dig Dug, Rally X, Bosconyan, Super Pacman, Pacman PAL, and Pacman Plus. And of course, we're going to go boot this thing to the main menu and play our way through them in just a moment, because I'm sure you don't want to just sit here and look at the plastic all day. I will say, however, that I like the construction quite a bit. You know, it's very typical of early Jakks-specific stuff. It's well constructed. It was thought out. You know, and it's too bad they don't make them like this anymore. I said this in the last video. You know, just they don't make them like this anymore. It was 2007. It wasn't that long ago. We could still make stuff like this. It's just we're obsessed with making them super cheap now. All right, no longer labor of love, now a labor of cash. But this is a labor of love. Let's look at the games. And here we are on the main menu looking at all the games that are available. Pacman, Pacman Plus, Pacman PAL, Super Pacman, Galaxian, Bosconyan, Dig Dug, and new Rally X. There is also a feature that you don't see on other ones, which is erase high scores. That's because you can actually save your high scores in this game, which is really nice. And an embarrassment for me. We'll start with Pacman. And there's nothing really to say about Pacman. It is indeed much like the arcade game Pacman. I'm not 100% sure whether they're running the ROMs. I keep hearing differing opinions on that. I'm guessing they're running the arcade ROMs, but I cannot be 100% sure, and they're really not releasing much about it. So I don't know, and it might vary from system to system because they contracted different groups to make these. I'm going to mention that the controller it's a bit loose. It's not ridiculously loose, but it feels like it's been in the arcade for a while. Now, this might be because this is an older unit. This is a used unit, so they might have used it quite a bit. Like I said, my reset button doesn't work, so maybe they beat it a little bit, and that's why. But it doesn't feel like it's out of spec or anything. It just feels like it's got a really long throw to it. Okay, let's switch games, huh? Alright, so next it's Pacman Plus. This I always thought was a hack of Pacman, but come to find out, apparently, well, it probably still is a hack of Pacman, so is Miss Pacman, but it was officially released, apparently. That's at least what I read in researching this, which I thought was kind of funny, because I always thought it was just something that showed up in arcades as a kind of a pirate unit. Anyway, there are some differences between this and standard Pacman. Obviously, you can see that the level I'm on is not a fruit. It is a little Coca-Cola can. And as one of the differences, notice how they turn invisible when I eat the Coca-Cola can, but they're still edible. So what you do is you go hunting for them, and you'll get double the points that you normally would have got for, like, say, a regular power pellet. Now, there's other effects that can happen too, and those effects happen when you eat power pellets. It doesn't always have the exact same effect. You'll notice earlier that I didn't necessarily have all the ghosts turn blue when I ate the pellet. Other things can happen too, like the maze can turn invisible. There's all sorts of different possible effects. And of course the graphics are slightly different. But really, this is just basically Pac-Man with another coat of paint on. And notice how it's saving my high score, which isn't very high because I suck. Let's go on to the next game. Okay, so here we have Pacman PAL. You know what? PAL is not your freaking friend. This game was only released in Japan originally, and it is a variant of Pac-Man, which is a little bit like Casey Munchkin. So maybe the Casey Munchkin people should assume. No, I'm kidding. It's a little bit like what was the name of that game? Ladybug? Anyway, not everything's unlocked at first, and you basically try to capture all of the different objects by picking up cards, and your little pal supposedly helps you, except here's the thing with PAL. PAL actually steals your crap and takes the points for it. Little jerk. So PAL isn't really a pal unless, you know, you got the kind of pals that go through your refrigerator and eat all your food. Kind of like mine. But anyway, yeah. This is a great variant, though, of the game, so well worth checking out. Let's go on to the next one. Super Pac-Man! Alright, here we go. Super Pac-Man. Which is not just Pac-Man. No, no, no. He wears a cape. Actually, he doesn't even wear a cape. But he does get really, really big. Which is, you know, pretty super. I used to play this in the arcades a lot. I really did like it. I'm trying to remember where it was. We have a place called the Organ Piper near us that we used to go to when I was a kid. And this game was there, and just used to play the living heck out of it. You know, it's pretty much basically very similar to Pacman PAL. You know, except instead of cards, you're using keys to unlock the different areas, and then of course you eat all the fruit. But you can get really, really big. You know, who doesn't like that? Oh crap. I'm dead. You'd think for all the time I put into this game, I'd be better at it, but no. Here we go. Ugh. Fighting the controller a little bit. It's because it's round. I turn it in my hand a little bit. It throws me off, and it actually does have a four-way lock on it, so it's not like you can go the wrong direction, but you let it spin a little bit, it will you know, it'll be a little bit off, but not bad. You know, this is a good game, and this is a good version of it, so pretty solid. So here we are with Galaxian. Galaxian is another game, of course, I first met in the arcade. I liked it quite a bit. Obviously, you know, I don't know if I should probably have looked it up before I did this, but I seem to remember Galaga came out not too long after this, and it was such a better game. But still, you know, this is a solid game to have in a collection, so it's quite nice. Controller performs very admirably in it. Used to think this was such a good looking game, and it's not like a bad looking game anymore, but you know, it's amazing how far graphics have come. But still, I wouldn't kick it out, you know. Nice version of it. Bosconyan. Many have lamented playing Bosconyan with a 4-direction controller. And there's a point to be made about that. But it plays. You know, again, this is a game I never played in the arcade. Now, I had seen it a few times, but I've only played it on home versions like this. It's really pretty good. I enjoy it. I mean, it's a fun game to play. I kind of wish I would have played it in the arcade so I could compare it. Again, I have been told that it's much better if you have 8 directions, but since I've never played it with 8 directions, I have no idea. Basically what you do is there's bases, and you blow these bases away, and once you destroy all the bases on a given level, go to the next level. Let's see if we can't do that real quick because I only have 1 base left. Please, follow me. Follow me. Ah! Now normally I could do that in 1 life, but since I'm not focusing at all, I didn't. But anyway, it's a good game. It's actually fun to play, and it's a little bit more involved of a game than you generally saw in the early 80s. So it was a good addition to this collection, although I've seen it in several other of these game systems. Alright, New Rally X. What's the difference between New Rally X and Old Rally X? Well, graphics are slightly enhanced, and the gameplay's been made a little bit easier. Plus, I think they changed the music as well. Why do they need a New Rally X? I have no idea, but I hear it does use different arcade hardware, and it might have been a thing where they ran out of the old hardware. I'm not 100% sure why, because I skimmed a little bit on the research on New Rally X. I apologize. But if you know better than I do, let me know. Alright, so let's try it out, shall we? See how it works with this little controller here. I really like this game. This is a game I've son of a biscuit. Easier gameplay, huh? I did much better on the last one, I'll say that. There we go. Now when I press the button, what's going to happen is I'm going to put smoke all up this dude. Controls are a little fidgety. Fighting them just a little. Not bad though. I could get used to it. See, I went right past that one. Game over. Anyway, what I'm supposed to be doing here is I'm supposed to be getting all these flags and avoiding the cars. I did just fine in my last video, but in this video, on the easier game, I'm having a harder time. Yeah, well. Here we go. Yeah. Little bonus. Can do this. There we go. All right. There we go, and that's Rally X. That's the last game on this particular system. So what do I think of this guy? Well, I'm going to tell you, this is one of their better little systems. I really like the look of it. I think it's got good artwork on it. The control itself works really quite well. I struggled with it a little bit, but I think it's just because it's round and I didn't have a good grip on it. But all in all, it does feel good. It has a quality construction on it. I I think the selection of games that are in this is really excellent. In fact, you know, I'd have to argue that this is probably the one to get if you can get it in decent condition. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time because I found some more handhelds to check out. Bye.
Retro Rocks Gaming Videos.